pull up the browser. Why did I have all this shit up? Okay.
Phew, that was rough.
It was rough.
Oh, that was rough.
All right, so we are
I told my
live
son to be
on
careful and not pop one. And I was like,
YouTube. My channel.
Have I already seen the background of the new standby screen? Because it looks bad. You know
Have you?
starting soon soon
yeah.
screen? Because was it the same
Yeah.
as last time? It's fucking. That's some badass shit.
I like it. And this one's not getting copyright claimed.
That's
You're
nice.
like, I know.
So actually, I think the first time we used it, because this will be the third show it's been on, the first time we used it, I guess the developer went ahead and like actually shared it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I fucked up.
Oh, I keep effing this up. How's it going, Element Down? Ooh, am I not getting my multi-stream chat? Is it not picking up Twitch? No, it's got to be. All right, let me Can I not type in my own? There it is. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, we're good. All right, you guys ready? Because I'm not ready.
So. You're not ready?
I'm not ready. I'm never ready.
yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting tonight. Here we go. And we are live. Hello, welcome to Griffcast Episode 38, the mature nerdy podcast for immature people, the show where we talk about any and all things nerds, from video game, comic books, movies, PC technology, up to and including why are we afraid of nuclear energy? So, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Griffmor. We have the full cast here once again. We have the Caramel Prince.
What's up? That's me.
We got Wild.
That's good.
And my buddy, Sobs Faneron.
Hey, hey.
So, all right, let's start with what we've been doing this week kind of thing, because we'll ease up some tension, get into the whole groove, and then we'll get into it. Nobody jump at once.
CP started off. CP.
I'll start. What have I done this week? It's not super nerdy, but I mean, I just blasted through How I Met Your Mother again. I don't know. I just Felt like I needed to, so I watched that. Been watching a couple movies, some weird ass movies. Now we're on Paramount Plus. You know, Man of Wrath. That was dope. It was actually really dope. Jason Statham. He did not give a fuck. He was just going after everybody. He was like, "You got something? You involved? Dead."
I think I've heard some pretty good things about that one.
It was not. It was a good movie. It's a decent movie, but it's not one of Guy Ritchie's better films. It was definitely his worst film. Guy Ritchie puts out some very good shit, but this was not. It was not up to his tier. He's got better work in him. He's got better work in him. And I know it. It was still a good movie. It was a great watch, you know. But you know, man, it definitely wasn't. It was not Snatch or fucking Rock and Roll. God, man, Rock and Roll was such a good ass movie. Yeah, I'm still waiting on Rock and Roller 2. Now that I'm on like fucking Guy Ritchie, I'm waiting on Rock and Roller 2, man. I've been waiting on that since fucking day one of Rock and Roller 1. I am waiting for the fucking second installment. I swear to God, I hope you see this. Please put that fucking movie out because I'm waiting for that shit. What else did I do? I don't think it's not on the topics, but the Halo. Oh
yeah, go ahead.
So the Halo series came out.
Yeah.
On Paramount Plus. Yeah, so that's where I was watching Man of Wrath and then Mark Wahlberg's Infinite, which was also okay. Not great, but it was okay. Decent watch. And then I watched the Halo first episode of Halo.
So I've been hearing mixed things. I've heard it's enjoyable, but it doesn't follow anything Halo.
Oh, it does not follow anything in Halo at all. So the first 30 minutes of it, they spend it, just tying in every single video game Halo reference that they could possible. Him, tearing off the miniguns and walking around with the miniguns, his shield getting, depleted, and him waiting for the shield to come back, and the noises were perfect and everything. And him going through his vision, and seeing the heads up display and all that, it was just flawless. And then they spent the next 30 minutes of him doing every single fucking thing Master Chief would never do in his fucking life ever.
Yeah, I heard that.
I haven't watched it just yet.
Yeah, I heard he made the cardinal sin of.
He removed his helmet. I was like,
no.
get the. I was like, no.
I'm out.
Then he could be taking
I'm
fucking shower. Taking a shower. This dude is still in his fucking armor.
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
There's two people that should never take off their helmet: Master Chief, Doom Guy.
Doom.
Sorry, three guys. Three in Judge Dredd.
No, you said.
In Judge Dredd.
Yeah, you're right. Judge Dredd. Yep. Judge Dredd does not take
Those
his
three people should never take off their helmet.
In the Stallone version, he took his helmet off. When Carl Urban came through and crushed the roll, no.
Like that is hands down one of the best Carl Urban films ever.
Carl Urban is the fucking king. Carl Urban, I hope you see this shit too. You are the fucking king. Dude, there is no greater nerd king than fucking you. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we're talking about the Halo series now. Master Chief does not do anything that is Master Chief. I mean, the first episode, the end of it starts off with he's just like, I've met this little girl for all of 20 minutes. You know what? Guess I'm gonna go against the USNC, and he fucking betrays the USNC. I was like, he would never fucking do that. He literally spends his entire life since birth just believing in the USNC. Everything that he does is sacrificing his entire life and soul for the goals of the USNC. And
if you never remove your armor, they can smell you coming.
Yeah, it's just like every Halo game, he is in it. He is doing the USNC's goal. He's going for the glory of Halo and everything. And then all of a sudden he's just in that very first episode, he's like, and fuck the USNC, I'm gonna betray them for this little girl, and I'm out. Good luck, everybody.
Spoiler.
He would never fucking do that. I kind of see what they're setting up. I mean, of course, I can see him being like, no, I'm not gonna do that because they wanted to kill the little girl, and I'm like, I can see him not wanting to do that. That makes sense. He probably would not execute her himself, but he's not going to let it not happen. He's so not going to commit mutiny and go AWOL. He's not going to do that.
So,
sorry, spoiler alerts. It's only episode 1. It's only episode 1. You be all right.
I mean, yeah. So, what about you, bud?
I could say probably the biggest thing that I've been doing this week is trying to stay up with the schedule of posting clips and clips and VODs at least 4 a day.
Okay, so that's why you keep popping up for me. Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough.
I can imagine. I can imagine, especially with like your work schedule and your family life.
Bro, like I literally obviously I have Adobe on my computer. I have Splice on my phone, and I just upload and backtrack everything between Google Drive and make things on Splice. It's rough. Everybody says, "Oh yeah, you can do that." It's rough as shit. Like I literally have to do it at work.
Yeah, because I've been seeing you pop up like nonstop. I'm just like, oh sweet, he's getting his grind on. But I'm like,
yeah.
And then like after a couple of days, I'm like, he's fucking tired.
Yeah. So it's rough, but hey, the grind never stops. We gotta put the pedal to the metal. So I'm kicking that off. Putting the final finishing touches on the second piece of merch that I want to drop. And then of course you already know, baby is due in literally like 3 months. So getting prepared for that, and I feel I've already gotten no sleep. I'm gonna be terrified when the baby does come.
Oh damn. And Solops, and I'm assuming you've finally beat Elden Ring since you're cranking out music again.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, now that game has not consumed my life anymore, because it absolutely did. I've gone back to making the beats, and honestly, I feel like I got more ideas than what I had before when I was playing Elden Ring, because I basically just allowed that game to just let me take a break from making music in general.
Yeah, because
I was grinding on it really hard there for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, you were cranking out what, like 5-6 songs a week there for a while, if not more.
I mean, yes, something like that. I probably had more loops put aside than what I actually sent you, or what I even told you about. But I don't know, it's just all practice, and I think one of the ones I sent you recently are probably one of the better ones so far. It's just like a different set of instruments that I was using. I was getting really into some of these synths that I was playing with, and
yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I plan to tonight anyway, because I saw the email and I'm just like, I can't right now, and
yeah. But yeah, no, that's been pretty much it. It's just been grinding on the music again, trying to build up enough tracks that have enough consistency with each other that I can maybe put some sort of makeshift album together, or maybe just start putting a bunch of singles on YouTube here as soon as I get another email and set up and everything. I've just been lazy about it and just haven't done it yet with work and everything, and just trying to have the time to be creative, because creativity is not something you can just force. It comes to you, and so there are some days where it's not really coming out the way I want it to, but other days, it just depends.
Yeah. Yeah. So I finished my grind since the last time we were on here. I finished my grind on Elden Ring. I haven't 100%ed it, but I am max level. It's a grind for anybody. It's about 1.6 billion runes to hit max level. And then Wonderlands came out. I got early access on PC Thursday night, and I played it for about an hour today, and I think I've almost beat it. So, in like 8 hours of story. So then, of course, being a... You're muted. All right. All right. So let's go ahead.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into this. So I have an opening statement, and so I'm going to read through it. It'll take about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to try to enunciate and speak as clearly as I can. Like I said, I've, to you guys, my concerns of why I wrote it down. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump into this. Now, I would like to state that everything that I'm about to say is my own observations and opinions. This is not the opinions of the group. This is meant to provoke a conversation in which, us from different walks of life can learn from each other. Now, while the core of this topic can be spread to the greater society as a whole, my plan is to keep it within nerd culture itself, just to keep in theme with the show. So, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Lay it out.
All right, here we go. I'm totally getting ready to get canceled or get kicked off one of the social media platforms here. All right, here we go. I have witnessed over the last few years an increase and infringement of political correctness and identity politics in everything that we perceive as nerd culture. I would like to preface that I am in full support of representation of all in all things. No one should feel excluded from any fandom. That being said, what I have been seeing is forcing a greater divide in all of us. The companies that have been forcing representation have been doing so not at the behest of the individuals they are trying to represent, but at the demands of blue check marks on Twitter. This has led to, in my opinion, not only a severe misrepresentation, but also a substantial increase in sexism, racism, and gatekeeping. The very things these companies have sworn to fight. So-called gaming journalists and movie critics are also to blame for praising wokeness while demonizing societal norms. They praise female characters for their masculinity and breaking of gender norms, while also injecting the idea that rejecting femininity and makes you strong, by in which creates an antithesis in which more feminine characters are presented as weak, thus forcing an ideology that tells the customer, you are not good enough unless you're a man. This continues into the now common practice of race bending established characters in comic books and movies. I feel this should be considered a great insult to the represented, in which we tell people of color that the genre-defining characters that have been in place for decades are insubstantial to being placed where a white man is. Storm, Spawn, Bishop, Blade, Cyborg, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. These characters that have defined comics for generations are treated as second-rate to holding the mantle of historically white characters. These issues are only exacerbated by the continued focus of one's gender or skin color, neither of which should be the defining characteristic of any individual. To paraphrase Reverend King, I have a dream that my children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of the character. I am firmly of the opinion we need to start creating stories and characters again that are defined by their actions and the challenges they overcome, not their perceived forced ideology to appease an overly vocal social media-centered minority. Let's discuss.
I mean, you kind of said it all right there. I'm not really sure what I can add to that currently at the moment. I mean,
100%.
That was pretty well worded, pretty well stated.
I can just see it now. Just take the mic off the stand and then just call it a day.
Yeah, that's kind of what's up.
So, I mean, all right. So, I wasn't expecting.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of backlash that I think we're going to give you here.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not really sure what the chat's going to say, but
we're gonna get there. Like I said, we've actually got a couple people in the chat, or a couple people viewing. This is a open conversation, so if you wish to inject, a question or anything like that, now's the time.
Please do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I mean,
I definitely get what you mean. Like, you feel that, companies and developers are, trying to push something down your throat to the point to where others are almost like, why are you trying to push this down my throat? Now I'm going to fight back against it, and then almost create, the thing that they are trying to fight.
Well, plus, I'll say just the concept of wokeism in general has kind of gotten to a point where it's like, I mean, things have gotten quote unquote so woke that they're not even woke anymore. It's just annoying is what it is, and that's really all I can say about it. It's just like I don't know. It's just I feel like that's essentially what it all comes down to, is people just trying to quote unquote be consciously aware of things, and that's great. That's wonderful. I hope more people are more consciously aware of things, but at the same time, god damn it, do we got to change everything?
So I'll give you an example. I've been playing Wonderlands, and the first 10 minutes of the game are I knew going into this there was going to be some identity politics involved, for a handful of reasons. First one, it's a Tiny Tina game. Tiny Tina's insane. That's her character. She also has, she actually backed down from Borderlands 2 and how much that she sexualized herself or talked about it. She actually makes several references throughout the game of, this is going to be rated T for me. Because this game takes place 7 years before Borderlands 3, where Tiny Tina is still 13, 14 years old. Now, when you are going in, you see an opening cutscene, everything like that, and it's all well and good. They make jokes about how your character's not painted yet and things like that. And then you go into the character creator. And the character creator, I was excited about. I'm like, yes, finally, a character creator for a Borderlands style game. I mean, I've been a Borderlands fan forever, mainly for the fact that the original couple of games didn't give in to PC culture. Borderlands 3 definitely did, and this is more of a stretch on that. But going through, they make jokes about choosing the different body morphs. You have large masculine, small masculine, large feminine, small feminine. But they don't call them masculine or feminine. They just say this one, that one, how about this, how about that? Fine. And I'm sitting here going to myself, it's like, okay, are they going to be like in Borderlands 3 where they just never reference you at all? And because I'm just like, are they going to keep it gender neutral pronouns the entirety of the game? You get through and then you get all the way down to the last option and you got to choose your pronoun. You don't choose your gender ever, but you choose a pronoun. And while at first it bothered me, but I'm like, you know what? This is where we're going as a society. So this is something I'm just going to have to accept. While I don't 100%, how to say this without being offensive, but still, I'm all for equal rights in 99% of everything, but there are things that go too far. And certain groups are piggybacking off of the fight and suffering of others and what they went through, and they're demanding the exact same respect that they never earned. So, but anyway, get into the game. Go through the game, and the first interactable NPC you come across is Paladin Mike. Yeah, fat phobia. Yep. So, yeah, the first interactable NPC you come across is Paladin Mike. Paladin Mike, you hear Paladin Mike talking to you this whole time. Elemental, I'm going to get right to you in just a second. You get to, you hear Paladin Mike talking, and Paladin Mike is obviously voiced by a woman. And you get into, actually meet Paladin Mike. It is a amorphous physical frame wearing plate armor. And also the other thing I knew that was going to be kind of crazy about this game is one of the main characters is Butt Stallion. Butt Stallion is a joke character from the franchise that is a diamond unicorn, constantly referred to as she. So, and if you don't know your equines, a stallion is a breedable male. And so Butt Stallion is a transgender diamond unicorn. So, I knew that going in. So I knew, like, and get through all that. And Paladin Mike, the one thing that I did appreciate is Paladin Mike didn't go on about his gender. He didn't go on about that. Just Paladin Mike was in front of you. You worked with Paladin Mike. You did Paladin Mike's thing. And Paladin Mike actually is a very likable character. That's how you do it right. My argument against a lot of what's going on today is that sexuality, skin tone, gender, none of these things are a character. None of these things are an individual. These are traits of an individual, and they need to be treated as such. A character, a strong character has story, has merit. And so I believe Paladin Mike was done right. And then you get later on and you meet Torque, and it's a whole nother thing that way. But like getting into it, I was just like, okay, it's like I see these things in front of me. It's like, and the only reason that I see this is because it's in everything. I grew up with Star Wars, Star Trek, comic books, comic movies, Saturday morning cartoons, the X-Men. If I don't know if you guys remember this, but the original 90s X-Men cartoon was about racism. It was about society coming together and working together. That is what the original cartoon was about.
Yeah, hence the name mutants,
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole point about X-Men to begin with.
Yeah.
Stan Lee, fully stated, the X-Men were created just because of the racial indifferences, in society at that time. Magneto was based off of Malcolm X, and Professor Xavier is based off of Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
I usually get so mad at that. My bad. I almost fucked up. People were like, "Oh, it's MLK Day." I'm like, "No, it's MLKJ Day."
Yeah. So it's, but yeah, I knew this was there, and like I grew up, and so now all of these issues are being overly saturated into all of these things, and it's almost as if, as Elementown's putting here, companies are afraid to be dragged through the media to avoid issues. They do what they think the current society says they want. Bending to so many different demands gets us deformed final products.
Yep. Elman hit it on the fucking head with that one.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
If you don't mention one thing, if you just don't mention it or bring it up, you're immediately against it. I mean, there are so many times where I'll be watching a TV show where they have a side character that's like in the show for like maybe 5 minutes, and then they just bring up something out of the fucking blue that has nothing to do with their character development, their plot, like, just going through the show, that just proves, just solidifies that, this character is gay or transgender. I mean, I'm just throwing an example. Of course, there's, broader examples, but like, just say like this character is gay. They just throw something out of the blue just to confirm that this character is gay, just so that this show is not targeted by a specific community to being anti that community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, like just the whole fact of them pointing that out actually has nothing to do with anything at all within the story. It's just to say it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for, just for recent sake, Aloy from Horizon, she is being praised for breaking gender barriers and becoming more masculine and things like that. I'm just like,
there have been so many. There's been so many female.
Yeah, I'm just like, has everyone forgot about Samus from 1986?
Yeah,
86 is when Samus came out with Metroid.
I mean, this is really an issue as old as time itself. It's always going to be a moment where people are going to bring up sexism, racism, or any other sort of ism that they can possibly think of, just because.
Thank you for the follow.
It's just, it's just the way we are as humans. We cannot help but to hate each other.
So okay,
we just love it. For some reason.
Yeah, yeah. I when I'm at my most pessimistic about these issues, I'm like, you know what? If we, let me minimize this. I'm losing chat here. Let's see. Isn't there now a quota on representation to get awards now? Yes, actually there is. Yeah. So to get a Golden Globe award, you actually have to have X amount of minutes of a female character on screen, X amount of minutes of a minority character on screen, and you have to mention at least like 3 times something that's considered identity political. And that's just to win a Golden Globe award.
So stuff like that, it almost makes me think that we're doing the exact opposite. So just to check those boxes, just to be like, all right, so we're gonna have this, we're gonna have a gay character show up, just to check these boxes, so on and so forth. And when people make stuff, and like how I mentioned earlier, they're like, people don't want to get dragged through the media. Like, we have to have a gay character, because if not, this community is gonna, speak out against us, and so on and so forth. So I feel like a lot of people right now, it's almost backwards, because we'll be like, all right, let's put a gay character in this, so we can have the gay community just shut the fuck up. All right.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna say.
It was a little rough when I said that. At least, I mean, I have love for the gay community. I have
that's
my family and transgender in my family. But I mean, like, I almost feel like we're almost at that point where people that are making this stuff, whether they care or not, they're like, all right, let's throw a black person in here just so the black people shut the fuck up. Let's have a transgender right here just so they just shut the fuck up, and we don't get dragged through the mud, so that we're not talked about on social media, so that we don't, have this negative presence.
So that they're not subject to scrutiny from any.
Yeah, and it's like, we're almost, it's almost going backwards. We're not trying to create positivity to the light. We're just doing it just so people just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Because like, I don't know if you have noticed this, but anytime that any of these issues are over forced, and I mean like forced, whatever product it is, it fails almost immediately. Prime example, She-Hulk. I don't know if you guys seen any of the recent stuff on She-Hulk.
Recently, no.
They made She-Hulk look like the Hulk. Like,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
It's just the Hulk then.
Yeah, like, and immediately, first week, that comic failed. And I mean, it was still the same character. It's just, it shouldn't, she shouldn't look feminine. She shouldn't, have feminine features. She needs to look like a man so that way she can beat a man. And I'm just like, at what point in time did we get to the point that being feminine is considered a weakness for female characters? Because, we're praising all these characters, but we're forgetting about, like, even Gal Gadot got attacked because she was too attractive to be Wonder Woman. And, like, foot down, Wonder Woman is supposed to be an Amazonian goddess. Like,
yeah, she's supposed to be attractive.
She's supposed to be sexy. Like, please,
she's gorgeous. But, I mean, she also, like, she's not your run-of-the-mill female. She has super strength and speed and can fly and can just.
But
like
I mean,
said, she is a goddess.
She is basically
off the street.
Yeah, she is basically a mirror of Superman. But, I had another example lined up, and this is why I wrote down my opening statement.
I guess that's unfair because, I mean, Henry Cavill, I would just love to just. Anyway, he's just ripped and jacked. But I mean, if you had somebody that was not his size playing Superman, you were like, oh, he's not Superman. But I mean, Superman
It
is just.
wouldn't even make sense for the character.
I mean, yeah, he's an alien. He's
Yeah.
he's an alien. It doesn't really matter his size or whatever. You know, the radiation from the sun is what gives him his powers. So he could be a goddamn twig, but still, you know, punch a hole through a freight train.
So
Yep.
yeah, you're right. Kindarta. There we
Yeah.
go. King Darta. Yeah, you're right. You know, being hyper woke is taking society backwards. That was kind of the premise I was trying to bring up within my opening notes. Was that anytime that this is overforced, it feels to have more of a negative impact into what they are trying to say or do or show or represent. And therefore, like, and when you overforce something, it doesn't feel natural anymore. You know?
Another example of overforcing is when Black Panther came around and they had the Black Panther movie come down. They're like, oh, finally a black superhero movie. I was like, did we not see Spawn? Did we not see Blade?
Well,
I
see,
mean,
that's
and they were just forcing that as if the other ones before never even happened.
right.
So,
And the MCU,
like
That they
taking a
create.
step backwards is just like we're gonna ignore what came before just because this is happening now.
yeah,
right?
it's
So
Doesn't
we are
fit the mold.
we're gonna look. I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Yeah.
like keep cutting you off. We're gonna look 20 years into the future. We're gonna have a fucking Bishop movie, and it would be like Black Panther never even happened.
yeah, it's the MCU wouldn't exist without the success of Blade. Like,
No comic book movie would exist without the success of Blade.
Yeah.
None.
Blade was
On the DC side,
great.
I mean,
That was the one that got everybody.
Yeah, I think
everybody.
honestly it was.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
especially like the first one was dope. The second one, I was just
Well, I mean,
like,
plus, you know, but back in the day, that was like, you know, Wesley Snipes in his prime.
oh
And that was
yeah.
just, you know, it was just good.
getting it done.
femininity. God, I can't say that word. It's such a hard.
That is a
Do we
little
forget
bit
about me?
difficult word.
Femininity
Femininity.
became a liability to the wider public. I think as soon as the obsession with deconstructed of gender started. As soon as the obsession with deconstruction of gender started. I can see that's about the right time.
Flash Meteor Man! Oh shit, Meteor Man! Oh,
No, he took it way back. He took it way back.
Meteor Man, that was my fucking shit. How many
But
times
you
I
know-
watched fucking Meteor Man?
The other thing gets me about a lot of these changing heroes that already existed, like
We're gonna talk about Meteor Man. We're not
if they really want heroes, you know, to represent, you know, what they want them to represent, why don't they just make their own heroes? Why don't they just
See,
pay an artist to make somebody new? Now, I know this has already happened to some degree, but let's be honest, nobody really cares about those. I feel like the people who support that stuff wouldn't even like those characters.
that was actually, I was going to actually have that in my opening notes of everybody that we are pandering to on the, you know, like I said, the vocal social media minority, them that we're pandering to don't buy any of this. They do
Yeah,
not support
exactly.
it, because if they supported it as
sucks.
much as they wanted it, if they supported it as much as they wanted it, it wouldn't fail.
Yep.
So like, you
Meteor
know,
Man. I'm
Huh?
still stuck on Meteor Man. I'm still stuck on Meteor Man. I'm thinking about Blank Man. Blank Man was my.
Oh my goodness,
Blank Man.
Blank Man.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Now we showing the true age. We gotta step back.
so
Meteor Man was enough.
you know, the you know, with Disney right now, Disney came out, you know, to their shareholders. They're like, all right, we're done being woke. We need to go back to making money. And as soon as they didn't go against the Florida Parental Rights Act, which read it before you criticize it. It's a learning thing. But since, you know, the president and CEO didn't come out against that, like, he just didn't say anything. That was it. He had a whole bunch of people reaming him, and they started staging protest. Disney has over 200,000 employees. They staged a walkout. 60 employees did a walkout. And they are caving to those 60 employees and forcing the 100,940 employees to deal with that bullshit.
I say this all the time. You can put out a product and have 1,000 people and have 1,001 people see this product, view the product, whether it be a show, a movie, or just, a toy or whatever. You have 1,001 people look at this product. 1,000 people will love that product and it will be okay. That one person is going to get on social media and ream it out, and then it's a fucking problem. Because that one person, because of the availability of social media, that one person is now louder than the other 1,000.
Yeah, it's just another prime example of how the internet is single-handedly the greatest and worst thing that we've ever created.
Yeah, it was the intention of the internet. What could have been the greatest achievement of mankind, but we use it for.
It was created for the intention for us to all be able to communicate with each other, and god damn it, we definitely do that, but not in the best way.
Communicate and share information. It's just not positive information.
No, it's not.
Mimi said handyman from A Living Color. Like, come on, come on, man. Come on, Unleash. Why you bringing up handyman from A Living Color? How you gonna do like that? Man. I'm out of here, man. I'm too old for this.
So, but like I was, I mentioned before, I do believe that everybody should have representation. I am not against gay characters. I'm not against trans characters. I'm not against any character of any nationality, of any skin color, of any religion. Everybody should have something to look up to. We just need to stop making the things that those traits need to stop being the defining feature of a character. I think another great example, which you would never know unless you dug for it. A gay character in Anthem. The bartender in the main hub. You go in there, you're talking to her, and eventually you can ask her, like, if you start executing all the dialogue, you can ask her, hey, you want to just go grab a drink sometime? And she'll be like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. My wife wouldn't appreciate it. I mean, you're just like, all right. So it didn't come up until it was necessary to come up. Mm-hmm. Who's hating? Imagine doing that skit today. Twitter would implode.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But, it's... And so one of the things I'm noticing, though, is that if you sit down and have a private conversation, I decided to stop having a private conversation. That's why I'm doing this show today. I wanted to have a public conversation because I'm having a lot of private conversations about these issues. And I'm just talking to myself. Like, I'm getting just a sounding board. And, it's quite interesting, though, to see how, because actually TCP, I was actually, shows how my thing, I was actually expecting to get some pushback from, like, the race bending of characters because of,
I'm not about that. Yeah? I'm not about the race bending of characters. I don't think. Oh my god! How political do you want me to get with the?
So, like I said, let's keep it within. Try to keep it within, because, like I said, when we first started, a lot of these issues can be subjected to the current society at large, and we're trying to keep this contained within the environment of the podcast.
Okay. I mean.
All right. So, okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Okay. Instead of... Yeah, Mimic. Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
No, so I'm actually... I know Mimic in real life, and so he is currently trying to figure out why there's such ginger side in movies and TV. Like, every
I've never even thought about that. See, it's just the shit that doesn't cross my mind. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, yeah, I see gingers. I mean, like fucking Ronald Weasley. I mean, they do give him shit for being ginger, but I'm like ginger.
Well,
It's one of
nerd.
those things you don't think about because you don't have to deal with
well,
it.
one of the,
Yeah, I
well,
guess
one of the
so.
things that he likes to bring up is, and I'm going to bring it up now, is how every redhead in comic books, when moved to the big screen, is race swapped.
Okay, so you got holy shit. The first one I completely dropped her name. Triss
Yep.
from Witcher. She
Yep.
was race swapped.
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane was technically that's not Mary Jane.
It's not that Mary Jane. It's
It's an MJ, but it's not Mary Jane.
The
Close.
the entire West family, the entire West family in the Flash.
Oh, fair.
That is, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I was watching that. And I was like, ooh, they gender swapped her. I'm like, I'm here for it though.
Um,
Iris
then,
was, what is that actress? She is just.
yeah.
She's
Don't get me
doing
wrong,
okay.
like I was 5 episodes in. I'm just like, you know what? I'm cool with this West family. Pretty tight.
Coming back to the MJ thing, Tom Holland's Peter Man, he has a type, and his type is it is okay with me, if you know what I mean. Okay, cool.
I know. I got what you said. No, I picked it up.
Wait, what the hell?
He just got a text. Is it an important text?
Oh. Please don't be a Dr. Disrespect moment.
No,
Yeah, he
not
just got
yet.
banned.
Not yet.
He just got banned from everywhere. FBI just texted him like.
I have
banned. I'm banned
40
everywhere.
notifications all of a sudden, but no, it might not be relevant to this. So let's see, Jimmy Olsen, hot girl. Yeah,
okay.
Jimmy Olsen, hot girl.
Oh, dude, they did fucking raise Ben hot girl. Oh, but yo, they did a fine choice. Oh man, oh shit. Yeah, there's something wrong with me, man. I love me some some redheads with green eyes. But you're right, they didn't. They put the red bone in every single one of those, and I am here for it.
Now,
It's disgusting.
okay, so let's bring up
Oh
the
shit, Jimmy Olsen though. I'm not gonna lie. Jimmy Olsen and Supergirl, that dude was badass as fuck. And dude, like when he came out as Guardian, and I was like, they're like, what's your name? I was like, fucking say it. I know who you are, but fucking say it. He's like, I'm Guardian. I fucking lost my shit. I was like, fucking. That was a badass moment, man.
So
I want them to make that moment more public. They need to blow that shit out there. And when he came out, he's like, I'm fucking Guardian. And I was like, ooh, that was dope. That was dope as shit. That was some dope shit, man. He was Jimmy Olsen, and he was Guardian, and he was black. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's nasty. That was some nasty shit. That was some good ass shit. Sorry.
So okay, all right. I got a question for you. So instead of race bending or gender swapping characters, and we go with the whole, there's never been. Gosh, like that argument's so freaking weak. Like they're like, why don't you just come up with new characters? I'm like, why you come up with new characters when all of these amazing characters already fucking exist? Why not bring them up, put them on the same level?
What you said, he didn't need to be Jimmy Olsen. He could have been somebody different and played the same exact role. But they also, for that TV, I don't know if any of y'all see Supergirl?
No, I watched
anyway.
the first episode and fell asleep.
All right, so I mean, doesn't matter. Anyway, so Mimic, they had him be Jimmy Olsen just so they could have him be in the story while also tying him to Superman specifically, which is what I think they were going for, because they needed someone to bring into her life, into Kara's life, that also attached, to Cal's life, to Superman's life. So I think, you know, they had him be Jimmy Olsen just so he could, you know, play that role to transition to connect the two. That was my thought process. Not like he would just like be some random Joe off the street. Though he could, he could have just been, you know, the Caramel Prince, you know, just holding it down, become a guardian, you know, being, you know, a handsome black actor, just in the face, you know, just doing some good stuff.
Go ahead and fill that role. Go ahead and fill that role.
Yeah, they could have grabbed me, man. It would have been cool.
So, all right. Let's see, push Vixen to the same level as Supergirl would have been epic. Yeah.
Vixen though. Sorry. Anyway.
So yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, bring up other characters that like
season 5. I'm sorry. I'm still going off a minute, man. Fuck you.
Go get your own Discord channel. Go get your own Discord channel.
This is TCP Mimic Cast right now. God damn it. Yeah, season 5. Sorry, getting weird. You know, it was good. Like all the CW shows in the Arrowverse, they were all great. They were all great in their first couple of seasons. You know, the Arrowverse, Supergirl, Flash. Within their first couple of seasons, they were just perfect and great. And like it was especially Arrow season 5 because they wrote it to have the longevity of the 5 seasons because he was only on the island for 5 years, right? So each season was a year that he was back, but it translated in, you know, to a year that he was on the island perfectly. Like they did the mirror, you know, the first year being back to the first year being on the island. It translated perfectly. You know, second year back, second year on the island. It translated perfectly. So once they got past year 5 for him, it was kind of just like, let's just make some shit the fuck up. And so that's where it got fucking weird. And then like Flash was good, but you know, by the time Flash had got into season 5, they didn't really have the Arrow references to go off of and like to continue the universe, and you know, fucking Supergirl was just fucking way behind. So, oh shit, dude, we're talking about fucking gender. We're talking about like identity politics, and now when I brought in the CW shows, did any of y'all see Black Lightning?
Yes.
So,
I actually hated Black Lightning.
Really?
I loved it, but they definitely pushed the race issue so much.
I can definitely see that.
They pushed it. So like I had a problem with, so as you can tell with my name being Carmel, I am a black person. You know, I'm also Irish as fuck. Bailey's is my shit. So I am pro-black, but there is a point in being pro-black where you become anti-white, and Black Lightning flaunted that line a lot. That is my feeling. I think they flaunted that line a lot.
Yeah, Element Down.
It was very tight.
Yeah, Element Down. Honestly, it felt like they just don't want to put in the effort to make interesting, solid stories that stick to canon history to revamp any old characters. Yeah, like, you know, I'm agreeing with you. Like, yeah, so yeah, that's actually another thing. Like, when they come up with new characters, for some reason, they force them into stereotypes. Every single new black character in existence starts in the ghetto. Why? You know, and then they, as the character progresses, you know, Miles Morales is extremely guilty of this. Not the character himself, but the writers.
Miles, right now, I was on your side. I was on your side. So you talk coming after Miles Morales.
All right, so they have Miles Morales start in the ghetto or into the inner city, and you know he goes through his whole thing, but
you know, starting in poverty makes a good progression mechanic.
It does, but they never. They never. They do. It does. It absolutely does. Because I mean, the same thing happened with Spider-Man and Thank you for the follow. Oh, thank you for the follow.
Sorry, you have to finish your thought. I'm sorry.
So,
Continue.
you're right. It does build a good starting note. So, but
And just stereotypical. I know what you're saying.
but there's no progression outside of, you don't see Miles Morales moving out of, was it Harlem? No, it's not Harlem, is it?
Yeah.
Is it Harlem?
Well, yeah, I think it is Harlem. It is Harlem. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
all.
So if Miles Morales doesn't leave Harlem, then there should never be any villain in Harlem ever. Because then you'll have, Miles Morales, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Daredevil,
Yeah.
like
There should never be any crime in
New
Harlem.
York
Period.
is just getting fucked up, man.
but
New York-
like, actually, I think even Ghost Rider hangs out there now. So like, but there's never any character progression. Like Miles Morales is extremely intelligent. He has the smarts. He has the ability to progress to a, from lower class to middle class at least. But it's like, do you let the character, do you let the character stay the hero and live in poverty, or do you let the character progress through society?
you have a great statement with that. I mean, yes, being in poverty and losing a parent, just having a struggling background makes for a great origin story. At the same time, you could also say the same thing for Peter Parker. Peter Parker was extremely intelligent. He had the ability to move out. He had great opportunities that he could have taken advantage of, but he had the burden of being Spider-Man, the burden of being a hero, the burden of staying and taking care of his community, the responsibility to that he can't take full advantage of advancing through the social hierarchy.
Plus, I mean, Spider-Man as a character in particular, I feel like, Peter Parker specifically, I feel like he views himself as a person who can't move beyond where he is in life because he wants to stay where he is. He wants to keep protecting people. He wants to keep living that life. So for him to be in a nice rich house would just, defy the meaning of what he's even doing.
Okay. Yeah.
being the face and the image of the.
I think a lot of characters. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish what you're saying.
Pretty much that's how I see it, is that he's pretty much just wants to be the face of people in those particular situations, and he doesn't want to leave from that, just due to the fact of the matter that, hey, if he's not there, then who's there to protect the people?
Yeah, that and I've also noticed, I can't think of like one character specifically off the top of my head, but I want to say typically when you see a story of a character who goes from nothing and then suddenly has everything, that character gets spoiled very quickly, and they go from a good guy to a bad guy sometimes, and then they completely lose their identity entirely, and now they're just someone totally different because they've become corrupted by everything that they've obtained. Unless, of course, you're Batman, then your parents are dead and you ain't got to worry about that.
Okay, so yeah, I will admit that was probably a weak argument on my point, but it was just, it was more or less. I'm just like, do we need to continue to pander to stereotypes to have interesting characters, or to have new characters? To have new characters.
Yeah.
Super quick, I had to BRB. I'll be like,
yeah, you're good. Let's see. Peter Parker's a character who remains static rather than grow, like Captain America. He doesn't change so much as he perverses through obstacles. Perseveres. Wow. There's that dyslexia. Even when it becomes a huge burden for him, he remains true to himself. Perseveres. Wow.
Man.
Change the whole sentence there, you know.
Oh, whole other meeting. Like perverses, what? Another Spider-Man entirely.
I can definitely see the comparison between the two. I can absolutely see it because even through all of I would say even through every last single Captain America movie, he always kept true to himself, and even through all of the actual Spider-Man ones as well, even through the comics as well, he's always stayed true to himself. So I can definitely see the comparison there.
Like he has his ups and downs, and you know, when it comes to like comic book characters, you'd be surprised how much a lot of the heroes hold back. Because like you know, there are characters that are way more powerful than they're perceived.
Yeah, but isn't that usually what makes a quote unquote good hero or great hero?
Yeah,
someone who knows how to be reserved and only, you know, let it all out when they really have to, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it actually follows. I don't know why this popped into my mind, but there's actually a alternate definition of Meek. The original definition of Meek, and this changes a saying. You'll understand it. The alternate definition of Meek is someone who knows when to draw a sword and when to keep it sheathed. So in the meek shall inherit the earth actually makes a lot more sense with that statement. But in this instance, like Spider-Man, there was a story arc where Peter Parker was possessed by Dr. Ock, and Doc Ock went out and just punched somebody, and I think he damn near knocked his head off. And he goes, "Oh shit, I didn't realize, you know, Spider-Man was this strong." I see why he stepped away.
Guilty.
No, as I was using the facilities, I was like, I might as well.
It's only perverse one. So, and like, you know, like Storm could quite literally erase life on Earth. You know, she has that power to do.
I heard you mention Spider-Man and like how when Doc Ock took over for, you know, Spider-Man was like, you know,
yeah,
oh, I'm really super strong. People never realize that, you know, Spider-Man is like, okay, he's not officially, but the dude is. He is literally the strongest Marvel character fucking ever. I know it's officially Santa, I don't give a fuck. No. Spider-Man pulls his punches all the fucking time. He just constantly pulls his punches. He's knocked out the Hulk in one punch, not even fucking trying. Spider-Man is the strongest.
I was about to say, it's like,
of
you
all
sure about
fucking
that?
time.
I don't think I've ever seen him knock out the Hulk. I'm going to look that up.
No, yes, he's knocked out the Hulk in one punch.
No shit.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Spider-Man does not give. Spider-Man gives zero fucks.
No, he gives a lot of fucks.
He gives a lot of fucks. That's why he's always pulling his punches.
Yeah.
And if you watch sorry, I went with Jesus Christ. No Way Home. Super spoiler alert. But if you haven't seen it at this point, then you just don't care. Super spoiler alert. In No Way Home, when Andrew Garfield shows up, and he's like, after a while, I stopped pulling my punches. I mean, it just shows you. I mean, Spider-Man, like, every time he's fighting somebody, he's always pulling his punches.
Yeah. But yeah, so all right, we'll go about another 5-10 minutes here. We're just going to shoot some shit. Because I mean, obviously we're kind of all along the same lines when it comes to the subject at hand. Yeah.
I saw that Paris Woods mentioned Marsha Ali's Cottonmouth, and I just want to say that Cottonmouth was dope as fuck. And Luke Cage was sweet.
So
I just want to mention that real quick. You know, I'm actually burning through Daredevil on Disney Plus as well. You know, after I finished, How I Met Your Mother, I was like, Daredevil, start Disney.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that because I think Daredevil was the best out of all of those.
Daredevil was definitely the best. Luke Cage was so much better. Like it did not, get, that much praise from critics and everything. But I thought that was.
I think the problem with Luke Cage, I think the biggest problem with Luke Cage is that the main story arc of the season didn't last the season.
Correct.
So
you're right for season 1 anyway, and they killed off Cottonmouth way too early.
Yeah.
They needed to drag his ass.
Yeah,
out.
I really wish that they did keep him.
Marshall Ali, man, he was killing that shit.
Yeah.
But also, we also have to thank them a little bit for killing off Cottonmouth so that he could come in and play Blade.
He's just putting it out there.
I mean, just
wait,
it was a little bit on the necessary side. Do you not know this?
wait, did they change actors?
No. For Blade?
Yeah.
No. You're talking about Wesley Snipes?
No. Hold on.
It's Marshall Ali. I always fuck up his first name. I can't really fuck up Ali because it's Ali. That's not too hard of a name to fuck up.
Mimi says Spider-Man was the strongest guy in Marvel until Thor showed up.
I don't know. So if we're saying that Spider-Man can knock out the Hulk in one punch, and Thor is taking several rounds with the Hulk.
Okay. Yeah. All right. No, you know what? All right, I got this confused. With I don't know how I got that confused. Okay.
Wait, now I gotta know. Has fucking Thor ever fought Spider-Man?
Probably.
Yeah, I would
At some
say. I
point.
mean, at
Probably
some
multiple
point,
times.
at some point, he had to have. At some point.
Here we go.
Oh, we sparked it.
Thor is stronger, faster, more durable, and more experienced. Fuck off.
I mean, you also got to remember, like,
this sounds like a fan opinion right now. I'm gonna let you know this sounds like a fan
you
opinion.
also got to remember, like, Thor is like 4,000 years old.
The only chance that Spider-Man might have is if Thor is depowered for some reason. You know what? This is actually something that I was actually thinking about the other day, and I guess it's kind of true for Thor. So Spider-Man has, or not Spider-Man, Superman has kryptonite, and everyone has a weakness. Does Spider-Man have a weakness other than just being just being like Goku and just being too nice?
Yeah, his heart.
Yeah, he's
That
just,
would have to be the only one because I've never.
You have to hurt his feelings and make him give up.
Even Doctor Strange has a weakness. It's math. I don't know if Thor can do math. Though. Thor's pretty fucking strong. I don't know if he can do math.
I'm not sure Thor can read English. So. Actually, you know what? Probably knowing Thor, he probably just went around and learned all the languages. And knowing Thor, he went around and learned all the swears of every language in existence.
No, that's why he has Loki. He just brings Loki along with him real quick and just like translate.
Yeah. So, I mean, outside of the opening statement and some of the conversations, like, I really got nothing to add to it. Like, honestly, like I was expecting
a whole lot of backlash.
Well, not necessarily backlash, but I came into this expecting even with chat, because like chat, I mean, the viewers were popping off and on this whole time, and
appreciate you, chat. Go on.
Yeah, we do, absolutely, and we're getting a lot of support from chat, and a lot of people I know who are not not like me, who are working with us.
Griff, I can't. I can't with you, bro.
So,
Oh my goodness. So,
except for Mimic. Mimic doesn't count. He can get sunburnt in the shade.
Dang.
Love you, man.
Oh, damn, Ginger. I'm so sorry. I had to throw that in there real quick.
But yeah, so like, I want, obviously, as a kind of a closing statement here, I should have actually wrote down a closing statement, but obviously we want representation for all in all things. And nobody should be withheld from any fandom. And I just think that the way that we're going about it as a community is wrong. It's overforced, which makes it feel unnatural, which means it's going to get pushback, not only from those who can't see themselves in the characters, but also from those who want to see themselves in those characters. It's, you know, and another thing is when these characters are written poorly, the point of a good story is to see and have a perspective not of your own. And when somebody's defining characteristic is a visualization, it falls apart. There's no learning, there's no growing. So I do believe, as I stated earlier, we need to have better stories and more relatable characters that are defined by their actions and the challenges they overcome. And that's it for me tonight.